so that's not a so that's a non-square picture, and do it in an oil painting style. I really struggled coming up with anything that was decent. And but some of the rest of you guys did really well. This so yeah, the rules were character to circus, and you can enter 2 pictures if you want. That was my demo picture. I'll leave it in there because I didn't come up with anything better. Joe's submission of a girl with the balloon at this sort of dystopian circus, I guess. Joe, did you want to expand on that at all?
He's not here tonight. He's traveling for work.
Carlos, with a picture of a possibly sad clown with the big tent in the background. Carlos with another clown. I tried clowns and all of mine looked really evil. And I'm just like, no, this isn't working. One from Kim.
Happy. They all looked very, very evil.
Yeah. And Kim's second picture. Oh, Carlos is supposed to be a character, maybe worth noting my ladies have only 2 feet between them.
Yes, they're my lovely Siamese twins of the circus.
Okay. Jeff did a bear on a floating ball.
Wasn't supposed to be floating.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was awesome. It's it's a new circus.
Amy did okay, so a little girl approaching the circus, maybe with a little bit of trepidation there.
Because that freaky clown, yeah.
They're all freaky, all of them.
And is that like a steampunk elephant?
It's Dumbo.
Dumbo? Okay.
Fine.
And then my other submission,
Ringmaster Ben.
I really actually I did a face swap on it, didn't quite work, so okay, I'll just do the original. I was surprised at how much I struggled with just doing the painting style and not being able to use a style reference. So I'm going to, I think there's a way that I can do a poll here. Poll. Now it's just a second. How many do we have? Actually, you know what? By the end of the hour, whoever has the most little thumbs up or happy faces on it will be the winner. Please do it on a maximum of 3. And really the ones you like best and that show some originality.
Okay.
I don't know what we're gonna do for the week 2 contest. We can talk about that. So back to the meeting plan. Q&A from the last couple weeks. Anyone have any questions, thoughts, comments? Want to talk about any projects they're working on?
Well, I'm not going to say anything because I didn't get to see that last video. So after I watch that, I can have any questions, I can move forward on that. But
okay. Amy, I don't know if it was if you had posted this question or Joe had about the using SREFs and painting styles.
That was not me.
Okay, so I just wanted to quickly go over this. So Joe had posted this, and he said basically SREF codes do not allow you to change the style of the painting. I'm using SREF 15, but no matter how I phrase my command, it will not imagine in an oil painting style. Maybe SREFs are their own style. So style references are their own style. In fact, let me read my response here. It was on my phone, so I'm hoping it's coherent. Style references are their own style. What they entail isn't really defined anywhere that I've found, but it includes a whole bunch of factors like the color palette, level of detail, type of drawing and painting. Some of them even like a level of weirdness. there's one style, I'm not gonna really point it out, that involved black and a lot of blood, and it was just weird because you couldn't get away from those. Anyway, consequently, they don't mix well with defining an alternate painting style that doesn't match with the style reference. But there is a dash dash SW parameter, so style reference, style weight parameter, which is the style weight. It ranges from basically 1 to 1,000, and by default, if you don't define it, it's 100. So if you go with like a much lower one, like a style weight 20 or style weight 50, that might allow the description of the painting style a little more weight than the style reference itself. So I don't know if Joe was able to play around with that, but you can effectively, there's a slider there that impacts how much the style reference, so that whole underlying style impacts versus what your description is. And I've played around with it a bit, but it's just something that's out there that you guys may want to know about.
Okay.
I was going to talk about, okay, we talked about painting styles last week with a couple of resources up here that pointed to some descriptions of painting styles. And Jeff, that may be something that you want to take a look at as well.
Okay.
So that's in the video. Actually, I won't bring it up here. I
Yeah.
did, one of the things I wanted to do this week, but I think I'm going to put off until next week, was a whole another concept called aesthetics. And if you were noticing on the art display area, I had posted I posted this one mermaid picture because I was playing around with stuff for the Little Mermaid, and I did this King Triton one as well. Hey, Carlos is on board. Hey, Carlos. But if you looked at the prompt, there's this little thing here called mermaid core. That's referring to a mermaid aesthetic, and it sort of adds a whole mermaid look and feel to things. I had
Kind of like a filter, or
sort of a filter. Let me, I want to go into this. I actually want to develop a reference page. I found one reference page, but it had some really weird stuff in it, so I'm not really happy referring people to it. But for instance, if we do a man walking, something generic, and then I'm going to dump a number of these different aesthetics in there. Mermaid core, steampunk is technically an aesthetic, and let's go with solar punk, and sure, forest punk as well. Okay, so we talked about this last week, where if you're running in fast mode on, you can do a single prompt, and this is going to kick out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different images, one for each of those. And this is just a sort of sample up front on how using a different aesthetic impacts your image. So I want to throw that out there just as a bit of a teaser. I want to develop something on the HubCrate site that sort of details more about some of these. So let's see what we come up with. And I know this wasn't on the agenda, but it's fun to talk about.
Hey, Ben, I do have a question.
Yes.
Is there an easy way, like in DOS, when you do like a slash and it repeats the previous statement, like, is there a way to easily get it to add to, so like if I've got a 4 and I want to upscale or variation, but say I want to do variation, add a rainbow, all right, and so I have to like recopy and repaste all my typing. Is there a way to just somehow like say, version 4 add a rainbow without having to copy and paste everything? Is there like a fast way to do that?
Is this on your phone or on a computer?
On the computer, on the laptop.
Okay, so for me, the up arrow will often allow me to jump up to the prior prompt, which I did here, and then I could edit it and change stuff.
Awesome.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I just couldn't figure out which keystroke it was.
Yeah.
How do you, oh, you can't do it on the phone though?
On the phone, no. Typically the phone, if I'm trying to do something like that, I might go up and do a select all, copy, and then paste it in and delete a bunch of extra
Because
junk it adds.
what I found, the only way it worked for me is that I had to, if I knew I had a certain amount of text before I created the image, I had to copy it because it wouldn't let me go back and highlight the verbiage and paste it later. So I had to do it before I created the image and then
Oh,
just kind of,
okay. I've been able to go back to prior ones and
okay.
copy and paste it.
Huh.
So I want to, let's talk, I'm gonna flip over to, let's jump to here. Core aesthetic. Trying to see if there's a good definition in it. So this is sort of weird, but, and this is the site, I'm not going to post a reference to it. I want to do something slightly different. So for instance, I used King Core, and there's a whole thing around it. King Core is a variant of Royal Core, revolves around the imagery and power of portrayed kings in history, blah, blah, blah. But there's sort of colors associated with it and styles. In this case, it's actually men and dress. So let's shut that down. But I did want to take a look at sort of the differences that we got amongst these by specifying the slightly different aesthetics. This is Man Walking Down a Path with a King Core aesthetic. It's a little bit darker, possibly a little golden. The Mermaid Core gave us some really funky stuff. Ranger Core is more, rangers, woods, hiking sort of thing. Steampunk, you can definitely see the sort of the steampunk deal here, this whole path, the clock, the guy with gadgets.
So
I like
can you make,
steampunk stuff, by the way. Anyway, go
yeah.
ahead.
Can you make up any of those and just put the word core behind it? Or are they specific?
I don't know.
Okay.
I had played around with this concept of probably it was about a year ago. Just trying to get in fact, Brock's our youngest son. He had a, no, it's not gonna, oh, it's not in this chat, it's in a different one. He has a YouTube channel called Carbonation Station. And so I was trying to create, and I know this is a whole rabbit path that we're going down, but it's a fun one. So these were my Carbonation Station graphics, and I don't even know where I came up with some of the Sleepy Core. Cottage Core is a big one you may have heard of. Adventure Core. So you may want to just try it and come up with it. And Transport Core I've seen before.
Okay.
Bronze punk. It has a definite look and feel. That one's a little weird. Don't go to Art Germ. Train Core, Cowie Punk. So some of these I had found somewhere. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there as sort of another possible way of defining images. And that one also, the interesting thing about that, let's skip through the rest of these. So that's sort of the steampunk one. This one is the solar punk one, which is more around the sun and sort of solary type colors. I don't know what solary type colors are, but yellow. And that the forest punk definitely went for the forest look and feel. So there's a whole other thing. Now, in my case, I was working on pictures for just some ideas for the Little Mermaid, and part of the background on that was I'd been part of a discussion. Shayna Manna is the director for Little Mermaid, and I'd heard in a discussion heard her talk about, yeah, we're doing Little Mermaid, but it's not Disney's Little Mermaid. It's not the cute cartoon. This one's sort of heavy and serious. And so I wanted to create some images that weren't Disney per se. And I don't know if you saw the Facebook post that I put out with some of those images. But let me just go here with, you know what, where did okay. All right, we'll just take a look at all the Mermaid Core ones. So for instance, and then on the Facebook post, Jessica asked if she could use the one mermaid one. So we went for that one. Let me just scroll down to the original. There was a number that I posted up there of different mermaids. And this particular one was the one that out of the four that Shayna and a couple others liked the most. So what I did was now this particular one, let me minimize that, drop it down a bit. Let's flip back here. So this one I used really a couple descriptions. One was the Mermaid Core, and then the other one was two SREF codes, the 555 and the 1175. So based on that, I also did 3 other images for her. Actually, first off, this one had been in, it's basically a 2:3 aspect ratio, which I didn't think would be that great if she was going to use it for a Facebook header. So
Okay, I'm loving your reimagined Ursulas. I'm gonna have a conversation with the hair and makeup team, Ben.
About Ursula. Hey, are you in hair and makeup there?
Sometimes I haven't got my assignment yet, but I really like some of these looks.
Okay.
Very cool.
Let's go back here. And I'm just going to start. So basically I wanted to flip it to more of a landscape mode where the mermaid was more off to the side. So I used the very where you sort of I panned right, and then I think I squared it, and then I panned right again, and to eventually arrive at this one that there was more. The other one, she's sort of out of the way so that they could do some wording on it as well. And then I also, yeah, I was doing quite a bit of Ursula stuff, trying to get Ursula and the eels. And I think this was pretty much the final one. Is that the final one? Yeah, I think that was close to the final one. Although I did really like this one. I just thought that whole thing might be a little bit too weird. And then I also did one of I think we're losing of King Triton that's a little different, a little better than the yeah. What happened to that? And I did one of Prince Eric as well, which Kim might be more interested in. Okay, I'm just flipping over to Google Drive to take a look at those. So actually that was the final Ursula one. And then I gave her a version with the lettering and without. But I also wanted to show you guys the Triton and the Prince Eric one. So this was the King Triton one. So a little less crazy than the other one that I posted a display on.
Yeah, that's great.
And then this was the Prince Eric one, and more keyed at the start of the story because he falls off the boat and sort of drowns, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, this was sort of the initial take on King Eric. So we'll see if they use them. But I know that they wanted it not to be
Cartoony.
Disney cartoons on the Facebook page. So we'll see. Anyway, I have taken us down a total rabbit trail on this stuff. But these ones, all four of the images were used with like the Mermaid Core and with the same two style reference codes that were blended, the 555 and the 1175, which for interest's sake.
I didn't know you could blend those. That's cool.
Yeah, you know what? Blending, so not only can you blend style references, you can also weight them. So where you could say, you know what, I like these two style references, but I want this one to have a heavier weight on it. And this and then this one be lighter. So for instance,
is that just the order you put them in, or do you have to specify?
Nope. Let me. So, for instance, on the Cinderella posters, we had used. Let me just try recreating one. Cinderella in a white gown on a what do I call it? Highly polished fallen floor. And I will do aspect. So Jeff, aspect ratio is that 2 dashes AR and then your width and then your height. And in this case, if we just did the SREF, I'm going to do the two individual style references. And then we'll do a quick blend, and then we can also weight them as well. So I just want to see what we come up with these.
Okay.
You'll see the 555 style reference often in my stuff. Okay, so the 555 is sort of a geometric green, orangish, white style, whereas the 1264 brought in sort of the blues, the bright yellow and red
Mm-hmm.
that we saw. So now if we go up arrow, oh look, it didn't bring us to the last one, it brought us to the one before. You can also on
Here.
you see you can just copy and paste it here.
Yeah.
So Control C, Control V. And if I'm going to do a 555, and then I'm going to do two others. I'm going to do 555, sorry, 1264 with a weighting of 2. And if we take a look at it, it's doesn't like that. Oh, sorry, it's 2 colons. 2, and it's going to play it out here as 1264 as a weighting of 2, 555 as a weighting of 1. And I'm going to do the other way around as well so we can see. So if we, okay, yeah, that was the original style references. This one has the 1264 weighted higher, so we would expect it to be sort of a whole lot more vibrant versus the the other one's still generating, I think. Or did I lose it? There we go. Okay. Versus this one, which is sort of the muted greens and oranges, but sort of kicked up a bit
Mhm.
on the vibrancy. So yeah, so style reference weighting, so style reference blending is huge, as is style reference weighting.
Okay.
And
I-
And it,
Real quick.
you bet.
What if you have found some image that you like, but you didn't use a style reference? Is there a way to create other images in that same style? Like, how do you figure out how to make them all kind of go together?
So the style reference was originally created by Midjourney for you to say, here's an image I like, create a style based on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying not to say because I edited out a bunch of ums from last week's podcast, but we're going to go. Okay, so this is the Midjourney reference guide, and to get to that, I'm just going to jump back into Midjourney, and if you do like a /help, right here it has a link to some of their pages on, here's how to view your pages on their website. Here's basic commands. Here's the extra
Oh,
options.
there's an info one. What if you type /info? It says show information on, what was that? It looked like it might be
Oh,
showed the results
well,
about your profile. Never mind. It
slash
doesn't say
info.
about the image you created. Sorry.
No, slash image is more about your profile, how much time you have left, that sort of thing. But if we go over to here, and if we go down to style reference, let's take a look at that. So to add style reference to a prompt, use the s-sref parameter with a web address URL where the image is stored online. So Amy, I think, was this part of what you're asking is, can I bring in another image and say, I want more in this style?
Well, like say you did a prompt and you found an image that you like.
Yep.
And you take that image and then mimic the style for the rest of your stuff. And
Let's give that a try. I'm gonna take one of these weird steampunk ones.
those are pretty cool.
And let's just take a look here. I sort of like the top left one. Actually,
yeah.
I like all of them, but we'll go with the top left one. And I'm just going to upscale it. And then we're going to save that as an image. Steampunk test. Okay. And then we're going to go. What did it say? I actually haven't done.
Said you had to put it in a URL. Yeah. Image.
Imagines prompt. SREF.
Image JPEG.
Let me
Wonder
see
if they
if
could use like Drive, Google Drive or something. HTTPS image.
okay. Let me just try this. Virgin cats. It's, yeah, I'm going to need to do a URL for that. Okay, let's go. Where can I post that? I'm not sure I can do it on Google Drive. Oh, you know what? There's a
Would
way
have to have public access there, right?
Yeah, you know what? There are services. What is the service? You know what? Sorry. I'm a Microsoft Copilot fan. We're gonna go there. And no, not Amazon. We're on Chrome already, right? All right, so let's go here to Copilot. And Fantasy football kicks off tonight. Anyway, sorry, that's a work thing. What is a service that allows me to post a picture and get a URL? And I've subscribed to one of these recently. Might have been the post images one. Okay, let's go to post images.
Don't Facebook photos have public access to?
I think they do. I just don't want to post this on Facebook at this point. So we're going to choose that steampunk test image. And it's going to give us links to it. So we're just going to copy, I don't know, this direct link, I guess. And flip back to, okay.
Drum roll.
On Midjourney, you can do better than that.
Ben, at one point you had told me you could upload an image here and it could output the description for that image.
Yeah.
Didn't we do that or something? I can't remember how to do it, but
Yeah.
oh,
It's
look at you,
okay.
you got it.
So there's what it came up with. And it's sort of the same style.
Totally worked. Looks like it.
Yeah, so Kim, let's that's the describe command where we can specify an image. So I'm just gonna pop in there that steampunk one. And we're saying describe this image. And we have the ability to, there might be more parameters. All right, so this, and what it does is it gives you 4 different descriptions of that image. You know, a man walks along the steampunk city, steam engines and gears in the sky. So they've all sort of figured out that it's steampunk. Excuse me. And then you can click on any of these four for it to actually generate a new image based on that description. Or you can click on this and it generates all four of them. I'm just going to do number 4 here, which is the steampunk fantasy man walking an old steaming wall with gears and steamage in the background. I don't know where it got the flocks of flying animals, but they must be there. Is it, Kim, is this what you're asking about?
Oh,
Being
yeah,
able to-
that's great. Yeah.
Being able to describe an image and then sort of
And then reuse as much of it as you want, take things out, adjust them. Yeah.
riff off of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if this will help or not, but I use Canva a lot. I have Canva Pro.
Okay.
They actually have an AI art generator. It's nowhere near this. Very basic. But they also have where you can edit photos. So like I can take a photo we make on here. If you upload it to Canva, you can actually pick up things in the picture and remove them, and it like fills in the background for you as if it was just not there.
Okay.
So just for whoever needs that, it's super easy to use, really easy.
And it does a good job of detecting lines and stuff. And
That's a pretty good job. Pretty good job.
Okay.
Perfect, but it's pretty good. It's called a grab feature. Like you can select images in your picture to grab, and then you can, so like I just made like a cover for like an Etsy page, and I liked 2 different images and I wanted to combine them. So I just grabbed the parts from the one that I liked and I put them on the other one. And it works really well.
Okay. Yeah, Midjourney doesn't have quite that level of control per se. It as we found as we try and force it to do things. While we're playing around here, I want to create one of these cat pictures, and then it also has a blend feature where you can say blend these 2 pictures together, but it's not where like what you're talking about, where you're like, I like this from one picture and I like this from another, let's go with it. It's more of a, oh, we're gonna do something totally a total blend of these. So let's do the cat jumping one. And then just do blend. And I know you guys didn't ask about this, but here we go anyway. While that's happening, I'm going to take us back to the original agenda and talk about a couple of the different parameters. One of the parameters I want to quickly talk about is one called chaos. The chaos parameter influences how varied the initial image grids are. So value of 0 to 100, default chaos value is 0. So by default, you're getting things that are pretty close to each other. But the more chaos you add in, and we're going to do that steampunk guy with some chaos, the more varied the pictures are going to be. So we got a cat man over here. Okay, those then all ended up a little bit weird. We're going to go back to this original description. The funny thing about some of the posters for the shows that I've done is once you get the right styles and style references, it just sometimes all falls into place, and it's so easy that it's like, hope people don't know how easy this was, but anyway, I'm sharing all my secrets with you guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was going up to grab that style, where did our steampunk guy go? All right. Oh, it wasn't that exciting, but and add aspect ratio in. And we're going to kick this up to chaos of 50. So it goes on a scale of 0 to 100. And while that's happening, we're going back to the mid-journey page.
What does the chaos do again?
It gives you a wider variance in the initial 4 pictures that it gives you.
Okay.
So if we, in fact, it might be close to being done here. Let's just wait for it before I jump ahead. So whereas before they were all, did I lose that? That sort of disappeared on me, didn't it?
Oh, the 4.
Oh no, it was up here. So these were all 4 sort of similar. And the ones we got here vastly different. Like that one's weird. The Army General, not even steampunkish. So yeah, that was pretty weird. So it allows you to really say, give me a wider variety of stuff than you normally would. And the other one I wanted to take a look at is one called Weird. Weird, explore unconventional aesthetics with the experimental weird or --W parameter. It introduces quirky and offbeat qualities to your generated images, resulting in unique and unexpected outcomes. So weird accepts values of 0 to 3,000. Why 3,000? Why not 100? And default value is 0. It is a highly experimental feature. What's weird may change over time.
Cool.
So we're going to do the same thing. And oops, jumped outside the box.
So you can't like pick image, like if you pick variance 1, you can't add any commands to variance 1. So you can't say, give me variance of 1 with plus weird.
Sure you can. If we did it, so if we did a variant 1 here, do you want to do that variant 1? Or do you want to do
Oh, any of them. I just was trying to understand how to do it. That's...
Okay, let's go up here to our original steampunk guy. And if I do variant on that one, it's coming up and it's saying, hey, do you want to change this? Okay. So at this point, we could add chaos 50 in there and resubmit it. Or let's try adding, weird 1,000.
Does that pop-up only come up on the computer? Because
Nope.
I've been
Should come up on yours as well. There are, so that pop-up comes up here if you're doing a variant out of this, the initial grid. If you have selected an item, for instance, this, when we selected this guy, if we go to, I think if we go to very subtle, we get the same thing. It's going to pop up again. I know on my phone it does. So we've done this is our chaos 50. And compared to this chaos 50, it's keeping a whole lot more in character with the original image. We've got the man. It is a little bit more steampunk. I really like this bottom left one, that aesthetic. That's pretty cool. And then if we go down to the one where we specified weird, That's interesting. I'd also like to try weird with just the original prompt as well to see how the sorry, yeah, this is weird that we're looking at, right? So again, they're saying it introduces really unconventional aesthetic effects. It's really interesting that most of these are railroads up here that it came up with, whereas the original was him walking down more of a stone path on the edge of a mountain. Any ideas about while we wait about a contest for next week? I'd like it to be really based on some of the stuff we've covered here. So maybe it should be a bit of a derivative of something where we've used the weird or the chaos.
And then your other core.
And maybe one of the aesthetics as well. So this bottom one was the weird coming off of just the description, not editing another one. It's sort of weird that it didn't. I mean, the top left one's sort of steampunk. We're gonna do another rendition of that. That's all I wanted. Let's pick it up to 2500. This didn't get as weird as I thought it would. Let's just open in the browser and take a look.
Creepy woods.
Yeah, most of it is more woods than say steampunk necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Ruins, city ruins.
Yeah, and then this sort of massive, looks like a Sept project. Speaking of which,
When I try to do a variation, and I click V1, V2 or whatever, it does not let me edit the prompt. It just gives me a variation. Is that because I'm not paying for the full level of Midjourney?
which are you on the $10 plan?
I don't know what it's not. I don't know what
Well,
we
you're
signed.
able to create, right? Which means that you're on Midjourney.
Yes, but I can't if I get an image and I want to get a variation of that. You know how when you click the V1, you can type in a prompt.
Yeah.
I don't have that option. Is that why? Because I have the lower version.
I don't think so. Because
Okay.
because from their point of view, they really probably want you to be able to do that because then you'll burn through your hours quicker.
Yeah. No, when
I don't get the prompt either.
it automatically starts generating it. Like I can't edit anything.
So we have a prefer.
Or by using the settings command and clicking remix mode, let's say.
User settings.
Oh, so see, that actually turned it off for me. So if I go back here,
Yes, that's what mine does.
bingo. Okay.
It
So
just automatically does it.
you have to do a prefer remix to toggle it back on.
Okay.
Yay.
All right, now let's see.
So that's
Yeah,
all you do
mine's
is
working
type
now.
in,
Woohoo. Yeah, I had to do it twice to get it to work.
you just type in / prefer remix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the space.
Okay.
Yay, I fixed it.
So that worked for you.
Yes.
Excellent. There was some value to this session after all. Okay. Any other questions, thoughts?
Emotions.
Emo-
I don't know. That's a lot of neat stuff to work with.
Yeah, I think that's all my little brain can handle anyway. That's really good. Thank you.
Let me go back to the meeting plan to see what else I was thinking. I was going to do a demo. We're good with that. Weekly discussion and topic and parameters. Yeah, we're good. And we did cover chaos and weird. Style, it looks like, is no longer available with version 6, although you can change what Midjourney version you're using, but we won't talk about that this time. And I'm looking forward to not trying to create circus paintings that look like an oil painting, because I found that really frustrating. While I'm displaying, I'd also with our boys, I also designed covers for their scripts.
Hmm.
Oh, fun.
So this was the it's probably, let me flip down to Affinity. Yeah, this was the one for Brock's script. And then that was the one for Davison's. So
His death page.
and we have a color laser printer, and we have one of those binding machines that does like the rings and stuff. So they're good to go. Anyway.
Hey, so real quick, that's awesome. But I'm in general on my where I'm creating art, and I put in a / prefer remix. Was that right?
Yep.
And it's not doing anything.
So / prefer space remix.
Yeah, is there supposed to be a space between / and prefer?
No, but I had to use the command twice to get it to work. It like turned it off before it turned it on.
Okay, prefer. Let's try it one more time. Oh, it was a space. I had too many spaces. Okay, I got it.
Woo.
Okay.
All right, nice.
Art experience. And there we are. So I enjoyed this. Thanks, guys. Thank you for being willing to go off on tangents and look at weird stuff. And feel free to post questions. I'll try and keep on top of them. I was a couple days late with Joe's answer. And this is a working server, so feel free to be on here and posting stuff and that.
And then just real quick, if you're on your phone and you pick the image that you want, and you do U1 through 4 or whatever, do you just hold your finger down on that image to save it on the phone, or
Yeah, if you do the upscale for it,
yes?
and then click it once and it'll bring it up to a bigger size,
Okay.
and then hold down on it, and it should give you the option to save, share, open a browser,
Okay, perfect.
and then you can just save it to your photos.
Okay. So what's the contest been?
I'll post that. I need to think about it a bit more.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
likely going to be something where you have to do a couple remixes and use one of the aesthetics, and either a bit of weird or a bit of chaos.
Okay.
It'll be a little more open-ended because I got tired of angry clowns.
Well, I was gonna say that happened to me. I was just messing around with Wonka, and I was
Yeah.
trying to do some stuff with the Oompa Loompa,
Yeah.
and oh man,
It's
Oop.
terrifying, isn't it?
Oompa Loompas were not did not remind me of anything that I grew up with.
What you may want to do, and I know I did talk about the style references.
Uh-huh.
But I find it very interesting the differences between how the different styles handle building
Portray the
stuff,
particular character.
but also how they handle people per se.
Mm-hmm.
And so that may be
Okay. Just a style reference thing.
S is dash sref is
Mhm.
the parameter.
Mhm.
So if you were looking for something that was more, cartoony, 34,
Mhm.
let's see how that looks while we're here. I'm not suggesting use 34. Oops, where am I?
One that I really liked, and I kept using that style reference, and I could not get it to change the way that they looked. They were just all freaky, like the clowns were.
They're all angry looking.
Okay.
Well, and they all had this like very I don't know, it's just creepy smile.
Well, remember, AI uses what it has access to
Yeah.
out there, and there
So,
frankly hasn't been a lot of nice clowns lately.
or Oompa Loompas
No
necessarily.
one, no one likes
So-
clowns anymore.
You may not even it may be you don't reference them as Oompa Loompas, but more some other description of it.
Minions with green hair.
Yeah.
Orange midget, I don't know, yeah, something.
Well, in the book, they're not
Mhm.
orange.
Yeah. I was just trying to something similar to the movie, but
Yeah.
it was not coming out. So
So it came
Oh.
up with some weird stuff.
yeah. Like a slash between Dr. Seuss and
Yeah.
Sesame Street. So
Shaun the Sheep.
Everything I've tried for Wonka so far has just turned out just so bizarre and strange. Like I can't get anything except for just a gate.
Yeah.
the one that won't close.
Okay.
Yeah, let me do one more.
Yeah, they were so bad. I just erased everything that I created. I didn't want to go back and look at it.
Immediately delete. Yes,
Yeah.
me too.
Like hide it. I never want to see it again. So
All right, so I chose this 65 style reference,
Hmm.
which is more of a almost more of an impressionist painting style, I guess.
Mm.
Curious on what we get.
The hills are alive with the sound of Oompa
It's the
Loompas.
sound of music.
That's crazy.
But they're not evil.
All
So
right. They have no faces.
and Amy, you know what? We're gonna have time to develop Wonka stuff. Typically that all is gonna probably fall together in the last couple of weeks. So don't feel compelled to work on that. Take this where you want it to go and
Mhm.
what you want to play around with. And obviously the Canva Pro stuff sounds pretty interesting.
Mm,
I was going to go to the display area as well.
that's cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
For that one,
You what?
I used the mermaid core.
Okay.
Looks like a real photo.
Mm-hmm.
And was this Joe's picture here?
That one.
So is that Little Mermaid too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we just been playing around.
Yeah, so I mean, that's probably the most fun is just playing with it and see, you know, taking down different pathways and stuff.
Gotta take a break from the Oompa Loompas, you know?
Yes, yeah. So,
Cleanse the palate, if you will.
yeah,
Right.
Ooh, and I love her arms on that one. That looks like fun.
yeah.
I'm always after the hair and makeup ideas. Like we could make arms glow. That would be really cool
Goals.
with the
Yeah.
jewels. Yeah, like the neon reflective jewels.
Like she has skills.
Yeah. It's sort
All
of
right. Do you want to look at Ursula stuff, Kim?
I'm gonna get in here and pull some of this stuff, but let's see what team I
Well,
end up on.